Good morning. It's early in the morning here, and it's a beautiful morning. I hope it's beautiful where you are. It's been a while since we got together, and I've missed you, but I've carried you in my heart. I have a wonderful subject to share my wonderings and wanderings about today, and the subject is who do you think you are? Let's ring the bells to support our work today. Hmm. Hmm. Always so good. I've been doing my work, my spiritual shadow alchemical work, and this question of who do you think you are has come up, and it's just gotten to the point where I really hear it, and I'm in it. I'm dealing with it like never before. And so I figure if I'm feeling this, you probably are too. So what's going on is, I mean, here we are sitting in the Kundalini rising, the time of that, the feminine and masculine integration, and all of this calls into my awareness um, the Gene Key 21: control, authority, and valor. So I feel like those three things are all kind of like in a dance together. Who do you think you are? Kundalini energy rising, masculine and feminine, Gene Key 21. And, you know, yeah, in recent months, I'm going to bed at night and I'm lying in my bed and I'm thinking, how lucky am I to be alive at this time in the cosmic calendar? I mean, seriously, don't you go to bed at night and thank your lucky stars that you are alive and kicking right here and right now? I mean, I just, it's so poignant to me and funny at the same time, to be present during the energetic integration of the masculine and feminine energy, the awakening, the great awakening of the kundalini energy. It's like heaven on earth, you know. I remember when I was 15 years old, I had this like epiphany that that I was going to be present and awake during the golden age. And I realized in the last couple of years, it's happened. It's now. We're here. This is it. So, um, and in the middle of all of this is this question of who do you think you are, and it just keeps popping up because because it's really important. It's the the core issue in the masculine and feminine energy. So let's talk about this, okay? So the shadows, the archetypes and the shadows. So there's this great dance going on, and there's at least four characters in everyone's archetype scheme. Their movie, and one of them is the consuming mother. This is the key relationship right now: the consuming mother and the capitulating hero. You know, the feminine energy and the masculine energy. So, what is this consuming mother? The consuming mother is this energy in shadow form of this sulking, energy sucking, downward spiral feminine energy. And it's sort of like this dry chalice, you know? In contrast, the hero energy in its shadow form is this kind of posturing, weak, wavering masculine energy, and it's going up in smoke. This limp figure, parched with thirst because he desperately needs the the waters of the yin vessel that the healthy mother brings. Okay, so that's like sort of the main scene, but around this there's also two other characters. There's the masculine energy of this, the critical father. Now, this is this glaring, piercing, kind of finger wagging father who refuses to give his blessing as this kind of last scrapping, squeezing demonstration of might being right. Um, and then, of course, to finish out the dance, there is the other end of the feminine energy, which is the gypsy maiden. And this is kind of, the gypsy maiden is desperately trying to cast all of this off. Like, ew, cooties, get off of me. Casting off this ghostly burden of what's going on around them. And in that process becomes this demolishing dervish in this shadow form. Or she turns it in and under and it becomes a scheming seductress, which demolishes things in a way that is covert. So you've got these four characters at play in their shadows. And I have to tell you, it sounds horrible, but it is truly helpful contrast. It will, if you understand it and you watch it, you witness it, you observe it, it's gold. It's pure gold. Because in there is, who do you think you are? The whole dance. Okay, so now what's the healthy form? So in its healthy form, you've got, and I'll just speak more generally, feminine and masculine here. In its healthy form, the feminine will bow to the stream, will sink into the mother womb embrace, and become the yin vessel. Now, in this form, the feminine is the carrier of timeless, the primordial waters, this buoyant container of all that there is. This is the feminine who expresses from authenticity and exquisite playfulness. And the masculine, in his healthy form, stands feet planted in his authentic power, the arrow of agency pulled back, ignited. He does his work in the world, that is his to do, and generously serves the feminine energy flow naturally. Bing. This masculine also gives his blessing generously, knowing that his place in the web of life is secure in all of our places, and demonstrating that to all that he touches. That is the beautiful potential of the masculine and feminine. And this is what wisdom, power, and love is. It's a surrendering unto one another, surrendering to the process and unto one another. So much like the Gene Key 21, this dancing, genome, DNA, control, authority, valor, this process of surrendering not just to your partner, not just to your destiny, not just your process, but your timing, this internal and external authority that asks you, who do you think you are? So, how could this show up in your life? I'm going to give you some examples. It's always, in the beginning, it's mirroring, because we only see through the outpicturing of others in our life, the ones that touch us the most, we love the most. So let's say your internal critic is being mirrored to you. It may show up as someone who says, aren't you one of those people? That kind of feeling when you receive it, right? So instead of running, what if you instead leaned into it? That's interesting. If you take that posture, at least you'd be more informed. Or better yet, maybe you'd have a profound personal awareness. And of course, your friends are happily going to be unwitting helpers by reflecting your own inner conflict of also your own capricious, capitulating hero. So, say for example that a friend makes a promise or schedules an appointment and then does like this disappearing act, and you're just sort of left, huh? Right? And when you ask them about it, they shrug and say, oh, well, it was just a misunderstanding. Woo! And in that moment, you're like, what? So, no, you're more than what? You want to kill them. But what if you sat right there in that discomfort, that confusion, and that like, huh? And that anger, and let the emotions filter through you and out of your system? You'd learn something from that. Okay, so another example would be somewhere someone who loves you dearly is mirroring your consuming mother. This archetype. These are all archetypes. Okay, so this is the person that either says with words or infers, oh, well, you didn't want that anyway. It's too hard for you. I want you to have a better life. Why don't you do this instead? And inside of you, you can feel that they're inferring that you're not enough to create the life that you actually feel pulsing in you. And with that comes such a sting. It's a sting. So, new plan. Rather than contracting with the sting, spring your heart open softly with the knowing that no one can ever keep you from your destiny when you're clear about that. Okay, so finally, in the archetypes, there's somebody or something that is also picturing for you the maiden, this kind of gypsy maiden out of control. Now, this is someone who's probably feeling caged and reacting by tearing apart aspects of their world that they've dedicated a lifetime to. It's kind of cliche, but one example might be a midlife crisis, but it can happen at any age. This is someone who is showing either the demolishing dervish or someone who's quietly seducing others, locating the weak points, pressing on them, and purely for the purpose of sport or fun or to ruin, not constructive. Be the witness to this, watch this, listen as they blame the world and get their kind of revenge. Putting your hands on your heart, allowing the pain of your own ancestral memories to come up while you watch this, transforming and transmuting that by breathing. Like the snake symbolically eating its own tail, surrendering to itself. It's really a dynamic rebirthing. So those are some ways that these shadows may show up in your life as your own inner conflict being outpictured for you so you can actually see it. Now, with that said, I just want to emphasize once again that we all do the work, but that sometimes the work is not just internal, but it's external, where you recognize you need to draw a line in the sand with someone else. It takes two to tango, and it means conversations about external boundaries. So clearly, inner authority is one thing, but there's also external authority, and both require boundaries that are healthy. So I will talk about that more another day. But that feels good, I think. Did we cover everything? Yeah. Inside of each of us, there is a healthy queen energy and a healthy king energy. It's looking to express in the world. And one place to begin to look is answering this question, pondering this question: who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Because only you get to really write that story. So, thank you for joining me again. Um, I carry you in my heart. I wish you blessings and joy and love in your days and fun. Um, Please check my YouTube channel for yesterday's music video on this subject, and come visit my website, empoweredessentialuYou.com. Ring the bells. Take all the healthy energy of this work and send it out into the world where it can be a force for good. Have a great day.